Hello everyone, JetTechie2007 here. I'm sure some of you are familiar with the task in the hit Roblox game Pillar Chase 2. You have your hold E to do this, type that in, push the buttons, you get the idea. Some of these objectives make survivor gameplay sort of fun and keep you busy on the map, unless you're being chased, in which you should probably run. But unfortunately, there are some tasks that come off as repetitive or boring in general, which is why I've made this video. I want to explain many ideas I've made for 5 maps that I picked that need a rework or something completely new. I'll provide concept drawings that I've drawn in case some of you guys might be visual learners. So before we get started, make sure to like and subscribe because it is very appreciated of you to do that, and I'm aiming to reach 6,000 subscribers at the moment, so it'd be very kind of you to support me. So with that out of the way, let's begin with our first task. The first task I will be talking about is the computer task on the ward. The point of this objective is to turn on the computers and logging into them, both requiring holding E to finish that task. Now, for the sake of my ass, this idea was made by my friend Mr. Shadow. Go support that guy or whatever. Anyways, I could see this task being reworked into something more interesting. So instead of holding E to log in, the survivor can hold E to turn on the computer like usual, and once the login screen pops up, the survivor can hold E again for the camera to move onto the desk. Kind of like this with the monitor facing the camera. Once there, the computer will ask you to type in the password, but you may have forgotten that password, so you wrote it down somewhere, maybe on a sticky note, and oh my god, how convenient, there it is. Now on the table, there is also a mouse and keyboard to type the password. Once you type in the password correctly, the task is complete. Now the passwords would be randomized into about 5 to 8 digits to be a quick objective on the map. This rework would make the task feel more than just holding E and also make the task feel more interesting compared to other tasks in the game. I don't have much to say about this one since this task is simple and straight to the point, so let's move on to the next rework task. Now this objective on Gilgamesh is really boring in my opinion because all you do is hold E for a long period of time, and that's it. And it took a bit for me to think of an idea that would benefit this map task-wise and fit in with the map. So to make this task not boring, here's what I had in mind. Next to the big pipe there will be a maintenance panel. Hold E to open and the camera will move to the inside of the panel. There's tubes that go in all sorts of directions and the survivor's job is to rotate them into a coordinated path to flow blood into the big pipe next to the panel. The task would be similar to the valve task on drainage, because the survivor will select the tube and turn that tube into the correct position. Do this each time to each tube, and once all the tubes are connected, the task is completed. I wanted to make this task more enjoyable for this map especially because this is pretty much the best I could think of for this objective. Now let's move on to the next map, because I got nothing else to say. Oni Mansion's task is very simple. Collect keys around the map and good job you did it. Phoenix Finch, the creator of the map, has stated that this map is high risk, high reward for survivors, so I think instead of 12 keys there should only be 1 key. But this key is RNG based on locations throughout the mansion besides the monster spawn, but I'll get into that in a bit. The survivor must wander around the map to find that 1 key. Once found, they must go to the jail cell room and unlock the cell containing, funnily enough, 3 Pinky Juniors. When the cell door is open, they will run out to the couch in the room next door, with one of them tripping and getting back up along the way to the couch. This was just a silly idea I thought while deciding what to have in the cell. Now I'm not an Oni expert, but since you can't really escape the mansion, I thought it'd be fitting to unlock the jail cell. But what about the monster and their spawn, you might be wondering? Well, they can just go through the bars with ease, because monsters in this game don't obey the laws of physics. Going back to the high risk, high reward topic, I believe this task rework would benefit that, mainly because survivors are going to be running around trying to find the key, adding risk to getting killed by the monster. And the reward is finishing your objective and letting the Pinky Juniors watch TV. Anyways, let's go on to the next map. Fazbear Frights was really easy to make new objectives because I decided to replace the vent and cupcake task with new tasks that benefit the map more. The previous tasks were only just holding E, but these tasks are much more than that. First we have playing the arcade games. Across the map there will be 4 arcade games in need of being played and obtaining a high score because you're just really good at the game apparently. Each arcade game would be different and based on the minigames in the FNAF series, so each game would be fast to complete, like collecting balloons with Balloon Boy, throwing pizzas at kids as Freddy, reaching the exit as Mangle without getting jumped by the kids, and Freddy feeding the kids cupcakes so they don't get angry. The controls for the arcade games would be the same as the regular movement in the actual game. The next objective is fixing the security cameras. In many hallways and rooms, there are cameras in the corner of the walls that need repairs. Once you find one, a bar will appear, and so will a hammer. This task is very similar to the shower task in Among Us on the airship, shown now. But instead of fixing the shower head, you're fixing a security camera. Click hold or press hold to apply power to the bar and try to get the camera in the correct position. These objectives, in my opinion, fit better on the map, and speaking of the map, here's where I put the new task. If you guys think there should be better spots, let me know in the comments. But now, let's go on to the last map I will be talking about. I gotta be honest, I was writing this script when Blade showed new images of the new forest made by this guy, who's really cool and you should subscribe to them. Editor's note, while I was getting background footage for this video, I managed to play with the real Kian in a server. It was a really fun time, and yeah, go subscribe to him. Channel is in the description. Anyways, back to the video. I was working on ideas for the forest at the time these were teased, and I had no idea what the new objectives were until testing was open and it was only cleaning up trash, which was fine since I wanted to keep that objective in the map. I also decided to replace the torch task with collecting sticks for the campfire. Camper Baldy will stand next to the campfire, and the survivor's objective is to collect around 6 to 9 sticks around the forest and place them in the fire. Once all the sticks are collected, return to the campfire and throw all those sticks into the fire, and your job is done. As of still writing this script, the updated forest map hasn't been released, so I have no idea if the clean the trash objective is going to be the only task in that map. Well, that's all the maps I think needed reworked objectives. In my opinion, these tasks could spice up survivor gameplay and make the game more interesting. Some of these tasks may be hard to code in if Blade ever considers adding these to the game, but what did you guys think of them? Do you think they could benefit the game, or could some of them use changes? I am open for suggestions in the comment section below. This is pretty much all I have to say, so to keep this outro short, I hope you guys all enjoyed this video, and I will see y'all next time.
Oni Mansion.